and thank you so much for your willingness to help us take care of the Crocker Farm School Garden. This short video will help orient you to the space and support you in taking care of our school garden this summer. Here is the Crocker Farm garden shed. You will have the code sent to you as part of your email communications. And inside you will find all of the tools that you need to take care of the school gardens this summer. There are buckets of hand rakes and trowels that can be used, as well as watering cans. A scuffle hoe here, which is my personal favorite tool. We also have a combination of rakes that are both adult size and child sized. This hose and this additional length of hose are available for use, and I'll show you where the spigot is in a moment. This is our favorite hose to use. It is a no kink hose, and it already has a nozzle attachment. Here you'll find scissors, some additional cultivating tools, tomato twine if you find yourself needing it, and the hose key lives right above the door to the shed. There is also a medical kit available in case you need it. Hopefully you don't. And a trash can underneath the hose. In case you find any litter in the school garden, I will periodically be emptying out that trash can. We have lots of beautiful crops growing in our school garden this year that were planted by a combination of second and kindergarten and fourth and fifth grade students. Starting over here with this beautiful corn and potatoes behind that. One important job for the summer will be to continue mounding up soil around the base of these potato plants. Potato tubers, as they are growing, can't be contacted by sunlight, otherwise they will become toxic. So as you can see, the potatoes have been planted on mounds of soil, and any small weeds can be pulled from the mounds, and then soil from in between the mounds can be piled up and patted down around the base of these plants to help protect the tubers from the sunlight. Over here we have our very young strawberry plants. And since these strawberries were just planted, if you see any flowers or fruit developing on these plants, here's a tiny flower here, we actually would like to pinch the flowers and fruit off this year so that the plants redirect their growth into the stems and leaves, which hopefully will make for very big and lush strawberry plants next year. Here we have a bed of watermelons for beautiful plants, which should spread out and cover this mulch almost completely if they continue to grow well. But any small weeds can be removed from around the mulch. Same with the strawberries, the potatoes, and the corn. And these two beds don't have anything in them yet, but we are starting some rice seed at the Brookfield Farm greenhouse, which hopefully will be transplanted into these beds soon. Now, continuing our tour this way, we have two beds that have been cover cropped with clover and also are growing daffodils. These can mostly be left alone this summer. Here is some chives and a combination of chocolate and peppermint. Please feel free to harvest from this bed as much as you like. We have an abundance of chives. The flowers are also edible. And here with the purple stems is the chocolate mint. And here are some relatively new peppermint plants. All of this is available for harvest. Here we have a bed of more corn and some Nicaraguan red beans, which hopefully will start vining up and climbing the corn plants. So if you see these plants starting to climb, feel free to direct them around the corn and hopefully they will grow up together. And this bed has just been seeded to sugar snap peas. So some peas seeds may be popping up through the straw, but any other plants can get pulled other than these two daffodil bulbs right there. Earlier this year, we had a nest of baby bunnies in this bed in the corner. It's well marked. We think the bunnies are gone, but for the time being, we're going to leave this bed alone just in case they're still using this space. This bed was seeded to lemon balm by some kindergarten students, but we don't think anything germinated, so we'll probably be planting something else in this space later this summer. This bed was just seeded to wheat, It's not marked yet, but there will be a sign labeling it as wheat in this corner. And you should see some tiny plants that look like grass coming up soon. If there's anything in here that looks like not grass, go ahead and pull it, please. And here we have a flower bed of zinnias and marigolds. Here are the marigolds, and here are the zinnia flowers. This bed has a combination of seeds that were started by first graders. We have a tomato plant here, and mostly in this bed are okra plants, which are these beautiful plants here. The okra will be fruiting this summer, as will the tomato plants. So if you are here and you see ripe okra or tomatoes, please feel free to harvest. Here's a bed of young herbs and flowers. We have some marigolds, some sage and oregano, and a few other flowers popping up, as well as the Arctic kiwi, which is vining up our trellises. It is unlikely that this plant will fruit this summer, but if you're here and you see some soft fruits, you're welcome to try one. Now continuing this way, we have a bed of blueberries here and gooseberries here. Both of these plants were just planted this year by 5th grade students, and we're gonna leave those be for now, hoping that the plant will redirect all of its energy into additional growth. But please do weed around these plants, and all of those will need lots and lots of water this summer. Now our last grouping of beds over here has a big mixture of things, including this bed, which has more flowers, some volunteer dill, which you are welcome to pick. Please feel free to help yourself to dill. Another tomato plant, some corn, some cilantro, which again, you're welcome to pick some of, some more beans, and some zinnia flowers in this bed as well. I think there's also maybe one little bean plant growing as well. The beans are being grown for dried beans, so please do not harvest the beans. We're gonna leave those until the fall, and we will harvest them dry at that time. Here's another bed of tomatoes that was planted by 5th graders. So all of these plants here will be fruiting this summer. There's one pepper plant there as well. So again, feel free to harvest conservatively while you're here, and you can take some tomatoes home with you. Here's another bed of tomatoes, some more potatoes, which will certainly need additional mounding and weeding this summer. We planted some sweet potato slips in this bed earlier this year, and they totally dried out and have all died. So we may try again. We're gonna leave this bed clear for the time being, but if you do see some intentionally planted looking things in this bed, they are probably sweet potatoes. And here we have some spring garlic. Some of the garlic is still germinating and will be popping up through the straw. But again, this is a crop that we will be leaving in the bed until the fall. So all of these beds will need regular weeding and watering, pulling any small plants. And a good rule of thumb would be at least a minute, ideally 2 of water per bed. Now over here, we have this beautiful perennial pollinator garden that was just installed by a Crocker Farm teacher who retired this year. If you are willing, it will be wonderful to also give this garden a little bit of water and to be pulling any small weeds that you see popping up in the pathways or in the garden beds. Now, when you are here watering, the hose attachment is down the hill. There's already one length of hose available that's attached, but you can certainly bring more hose out from the shed and attach it. And this hose key turns on the water spigot here. So the hose key fits into the square there, and by turning it counterclockwise, you can turn the hose on and off. It sometimes takes quite a few turns to turn this one on, but you'll hear the water starting to come out. We are so grateful for your help, and please reach out with any questions. Happy gardening this summer.